The king is dead, and while some random enemy has shown up to wander the map, I'm going to ignore them for now, and instead prepare to tackle the Lich yard. So now we're into the stage that is definitely the most Castlevania of the bunch. Maybe second most Castlevania? The other one won't be for a while though, so we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Now first up we have these cute, sleepy frogs. Surely they can't be that annoying. Spoilers, they are electric frogs. They can be pretty unpredictable, and when they are electrified, their hitbox is rather large, so they can be pretty tough to deal with. We also have these weird wiggly green ball things. I'm not entirely sure what they are. You can bounce off them and get some extra height, and they don't get destroyed in the process, which is not super common for this game, but we're still not getting enough height for that one gem up there, so now what? Well, there's actually something else you can do with it. If you attack them, they'll pop out of the ground, and then you can pogo on them again. They make some fun use out of this here and there throughout the stage. Now, since this is a graveyard, we have some cool new aesthetics, like the dirt piles have skeleton bones sticking out of it, and the hands try to grab you, and oh, it's creepy and gross. We also have several tombstones in the area that if you destroy, there's a chance that a ghost will come out. It's not 100%, and on their own the ghosts aren't too bad, but when you pair up a ghost with other enemies or obstacles, they can be pretty annoying, because they chase you relentlessly. This stage also marks the first time we're going to see a new trap: bombs. Sometimes instead of delicious food, these platters will be rigged with explosives. It's real rude. Thankfully, if you're quick, you can use them to your advantage. It's always real satisfying to destroy a skeleton with his own head. It just feels good. That skeleton's already lost his head. It's over there in the dirt pile. He just can't get it. It's a real awful existence, I bet. I try to avoid destroying tombstones whenever I can, but thankfully no ghost popped out of that one. Unfortunately, I had to destroy that one to get up there in the first place, but really I just like to try to avoid ghosts whenever I can. So you can probably tell this stage has a lot of skeletons in it. Surprise, surprise, it's a graveyard. Some of the skeletons are more aggressive than others. The red ones will rush you down. These brown ones are pretty default. They back up and all that fun stuff. Some skeletons are bigger than others. Oh no. Look out for this tough customer. He'll crumple when he lands. And then if you get on top of him, there's pretty much nothing he can do. He's really not that hard, especially since he has like no ranged attacks whatsoever. Oh boy, so now we're onto the real gimmick of the stage that I have a real love-hate relationship with. Aesthetically, I think it's awesome. It really fits the vibe this level is going for, how everything is dark and all the lightning is super spooky. But just in general, I don't like it when games interfere with the core mechanics. So I don't like it when they impair your movement, I don't like it when they impair your sight, because now I have to like play it safe, not because I feel like the area coming up is dangerous, but because I legitimately can't see where I'm going. When I'm standing here in the silhouettes, it looks awesome. It's just when I'm out in the blackness, that's when things start to fall apart for me. One thing I really like to do in this room is, oh man, all these skeletons are headless and brainless, and I know that platter is a bomb, so I'm gonna set up a trap for them. Boom! Oh, that's satisfying to do. I got real lucky there. No ghosts spawned out of those tombstones. Normally I get at least one. It could be tough to deal with that ghost while also fighting off that skeleton. So now here's a puzzle. I can hit this green ball and try to jump up here, but I'm still not getting enough height to get up there. Surely I can get up there, right? I mean, why else would these be here? In fact, why are there two of them instead of just one? Well, there's actually something a little extra you can do with these that I haven't done before. You see, if you hit it while it's flying, it goes up even higher. Oh, shoot, I felt... Sorry about that, folks. There we go. So on to gimmick number 3. 3 if you count those bouncy green ball things. I can stand on this platform. It doesn't really do anything. You can see the skeletons are reacting in some way, but it doesn't do anything on its own. However, if I aggro this skeleton with this big, fat, heavy hat, it actually weighs us down and we start to sink. Physics is fun. I'm not going to go fishing in that spot because I know it is a troutable fish. Now this is the part where we learn that it doesn't have to be a skeleton head to weigh down the platforms. It can be any 2 bodies. That's going to be enough to make it sink. I really don't want to wake up that frog though, because again, they're pretty unpredictable, so I'm just going to jump over them. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. Okay, I will admit that was not intentional. I was going to let the platform sink and jump at the last moment to let the enemies die, but not me. Things did not go as planned, and I'm also not going to make you watch me return all the way back from the start of the stage, so I will do this the intended way. No, I did not land on that platform. See, I don't like the darkness. I can't tell what's happening. Oh, it is always satisfying to bounce an object through the air without it touching the ground. Feels real good. Oh boy, I'm not looking forward to dealing with those frogs down there. Hopefully Chester has something useful for me. The Phase Locket is kind of the most overpowered item in the game, and its existence is mostly to help new players. The Phase Locket, when used, makes the player completely impervious to all damage for a short time. I am having a heck of a day with these frogs. Wowie zowie. The only thing that could really kill you while you're using the Phase Locket is, I mean, it runs out pretty quick, but also you can fall into a hole. Outside of a few secret areas here and there, I'm really not going to use that item too much because I generally just don't need it. See, I say that, but I've already proven a couple times now that I'm a little unreliable. So we'll see what happens. Talking and playing games at the same time is hard. One last fun little secret in this stage, up in this corner, and it is not this wall that I just destroyed. You can actually bounce up here onto the health bars and then climb over to the screen. The only thing it's good for is these 3 gems here, so it's not really anything to write home about, but I just think it's cute that you can run up here alongside the UI. Now, if you haven't guessed what the little symbol in the wall is for this stage, it is the skulls. Surprisingly enough, skulls. Skeleton skulls. Speaking of skeletons, you'd think I'd be able to beam this guy in the head from across the room, but unfortunately that is just not the case. Instead, I have to engage him with good sportsmanship. A pity. We're into the final stretch of this stage. This is the last room that I'm going to have to deal with darkness. So I'm going to take it real careful and slow, and hopefully I should not fall into any pits. Thankfully, these skeletons are green and therefore die in one hit. It would be a hell of a time if I actually had to fight some regular skeletons when I can't see, and then they could just knock me into one of these several hits in the area. And this here is the final checkpoint, and we all know what that means. It's time to face the boss. Spectre Knight is real cool, at least aesthetically. I love his design. Combat-wise, he's not overly difficult, but the fight can take some time, especially if you're doing what I'm doing and trying to play through all the bosses with only your shovel to really show off everything there is to a boss fight. On top of this, since he's always high off the ground, my mobility is kind of limited to these two platforms here, and his weapon is huge, so I don't have a ton of room if I want to try to avoid it. All that being said, the battle can be made a lot shorter if you care to bust out the Flare Wand, since Spectre Knight flies in a very predictable pattern back and forth. About halfway through the battle, he summons some skeletons. They're the green ones though, and as we already know, they only have 1 health, so it's short work to clear them out. Beyond that, there's really only one more move in his arsenal that he hasn't shown off yet, but he doesn't do that until he's very low on health, so we're not quite there. Ah, here we go. At low health, he turns out the lights. A tricky move, but since he only had a couple hits left to go, it's easy to snuff him out as well.